We're going to proceed at this moment with my co-patriot Frans Verhagen. He, like me, ended up in the United States. He's a sociologist of development and sustainability, and he has been very involved with the UN and the climate change conferences that have been held. And he has been very in the forefront to integrate what the American Monetary Institute is promoting, which is the understanding of the monetary system. And what, what's happening now in Glasgow is how do we tackle the climate change problem? And he has one solution that he developed, which is quite detailed, but it is in his book, which I can recommend to everybody. It's called The Tierra Solution, subtitled Resolving Climate Change Through Monetary Transformation. So he puts monetary transformation into the core of how we can tackle climate change. And that's also the statement that we are developing at the AMI to lob at the conference, where we make that statement to them. People, look at the monetary system and how that impacts climate change. And you have to take that into account if you want to have solutions. So without further ado, I leave it to Frans Verhagen. The title of his presentation is The Tierra Monetary Paradigm, Its Architecture, Rationale, and Strategy. Frans, welcome again. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Govert. Now let me put
it's visible now.
Okay, there we are.
Very good, Frans. Thank you.
So this presentation is really different, not better, but different from what has been going on this weekend. And the reason that I say this is I'm looking at how things can be resolved and in what way. But let me, before I present that way, let me make clear what brought me to this. And I go back to 2007, when I stopped teaching formally, and exactly the year when we had the financial crisis. So I started thinking, what can I do to contribute to resolving a problem like that? And of course, you have to analyze first, find the causes, and then come up with a proposal. It took me 5 years to do research, interview, discuss, negotiate, everything. And the result was the 2012 book that Govert showed us a few minutes ago. And as you can see on the slide, what I bring to that search is a Masters of Divinity of Dutch schools, a Masters of International Affairs from Columbia, a PhD in the sociology of international development. And I said to myself, now, if I, with that kind of background and experience, can't find a proper answer to the analysis and the policy for avoiding another crisis like that, who can? So that is how I simply started. And So also on the screen, you can see the International Institute for Monetary Transformation. This is an international network of social scientists who are involved in peace, particularly Peace Research Association, International Equal Linguistics, and other major challenges in the international arena. The institute is very small. I decided at that time not to incorporate it to keep enough flexibility and independence. Now, I think the time has come really to set it up with a board, etc. And particularly after listening to all the presentations today, I can see that quite a few people would be, if they are interested, I would be welcome, several of them, to be on that board. Okay. The next question. So what I'm going to do, I hopefully in 10 minutes, because I prefer to have questions that might be more informative, is what is the Tierra monetary paradigm, the TMP, and why is it necessary? And how is the TMP how can it become a reality? And I say by 2025, because I'm making a white paper arguing that we really ought to try hard to get the TMP to go at 2025, given the urgency of the climate crisis. And I can also still add on to my introduction, basically, that I have been when I've graduated from the 1970 from Columbia, I started studying the sociology of energy. Then I went into energy and environment. And one of the things I've been doing for about 10 years is teaching environmental policies to architects and engineers at the New York Institute of Technology. So these are the three questions that I try to answer. And I have to basically emphasize when I talk about the monetary paradigm that monetary in this respect, in my definition, follows the one of Huber of Joseph, who considers the monetary system basically forgotten almost by economists, whilst he and also me consider it basic to the financial system and to the fiscal system. And of course, we have been talking most about the money system, the financial system today, and less and hardly ever about the monetary system, let alone the international monetary system. So the TMP is an international money system that is to replace the present unjust, unsustainable, and therefore unstable international monetary system. And I was very happily surprised by the several outstanding presentations, the last one of which is of John Titus, which was really well researched, and I'm really going to happily go to his website. So the idea is to get from monetary, national monetary frameworks to a decarbonization-based international monetary system, which with its federated global sovereign monetary authority, which for convenience sake, we will call it Global Fed. The basic building block for this new monetary authority and for the architecture, the TMP architecture as a whole, is the monetary standard, which is based upon decarbonization, which can be expressed as a specific tonnage of CO2e per person. So that's the building block. The authority, the Global Fed, is the one who issues the global currency, the Tierra global currency, which is used in the balance of payments, which is a dual balance of payment system. Because we really are trying to find solutions, mostly in my opinion, to the climate crisis, which I consider to be the most urgent need to be addressed. And so the dual balance of payment system consists of financial and also ecological and climate credits and debts. And I argue that once this kind of universal dual payment system is available, then it will be easier to have a flow of the payments coming from the north going to the south. So that are the three major building blocks of the TMP. And as I said, we start from reformist measures to the transformational policies constituting a new monetary paradigm to advance to a just and sustainable global governance system, because the three subsystems of the world economy are to be in service of the larger goal of a just and sustainable global governance system. We now asked, why should we, hold on a moment, why should we do this? And of course, the looming climate catastrophe and other global crises demand a transformation of the human, monetary, financial, and fiscal subsystems that are not working on account of their injustices, unsustainability, and instability. And we have heard quite a few analyses this weekend showing that in great detail. Decarbonizing the present international monetary system by basing it up on a monetary standard of a specific tonnage of CO2e per person would transform these three subsystems of the world economy, because if we go to the monetary system, the international monetary system itself, that will have an enormous impact upon the financial system and also on the fiscal system. And as we said, so my first edition, the first kind of expression of this search for a solution was in 2012. And I'm now working on the sequel, which is called Ample Money Globally, What, Why, How, and Whither. And it's more activist oriented than the basic 2012 book. So if we ask why we are doing this, then the question is a double choice. Do we want to continue modeling through as we are doing now and what we have heard the whole weekend today, Or are we going look at the pros and cons of a structural international monetary transformation? I think that are the basic questions that we have to ask. What has happened? I don't know what happened right now.
Frans, I'm still looking at making TMP a reality 1. That's what we are seeing. It starts about saying about COP26, and now you're going to 2, and now you're going to 3.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know what happened to my computer here. Okay. So the what question will become clearer when we go forward. The why question, we touched on this. And now, how can we go? How can we do this? And so one of the major reasons for the monetary justice campaign of monetarist and religious organization is the proposal for a Glasgow, or later on after the COP, of the proposal for a UN International Commission on Monetary Reform and Transformation as a first step. What we have been discussing is very important, but who is listening at the places where real decisions are being made? That is the real question. And so, as a first step, we ought to follow the UN kind of procedure. If you don't know exactly what's happening and where you want to go to, set up a commission. So that is why I propose to have this International Commission on Monetary Reform and Transformation. That is really important, that we are not only saying monetary reform, but we also have to add transformation. Let me make that clear, because when we use the terminology monetary reform, that has many kind of meanings. And on account of that, it's kind of dubious what a particular person is talking about. So when I talk about monetary reform, I include transformation, which means international system transformation. And so reformist measures on a national level can lead up to transforming the international system. And this commission would be a first step. And so the open letter with petitions to the COP26 is an example where we can at least be heard a little bit. And so it's important that monetary organizations and civil society, that they sign up for this. And so one of the ways for us in the civil society monetary organizations, or CSOMs, is to follow the example of John Howell with the League of Women Voters. Each one of us could probably look at a particular social group to get really involved in order to make them aware of what's happening to basically the international monetary system. And so the idea for us is also to have a post-COP grassroots campaign that would use petition signing organizations such as AVAS. Then,
Frans, at this moment, I'm very sorry to interrupt there because of time constraints. Because you want to take some questions and answer some, or you want to continue a little bit and then do the question and answer session during the break. Sorry about that because of time constraints. It's up to you. You want to keep talking and then we go to break, or we'll take some questions and answers now.
no, let me take 1 or 2 minutes to finish the rest.
Okay.
So what can be done is simple framing, branding of monetary, etc. issues. Then I think what is really also important that we start setting up TMP working groups, which would then finally come up and incorporate a TMP international organization that would go for the accreditation at the UN. And once you get an accreditation, you really are able to speak and make and publish things and bring this to the notice of all the other participants. So I think that is an important part that I wanted to say. And then developing leverage points. And so we heard in the last one presentation what China is doing, and we know the relationship of the US and China partnership. What I'm suggesting as a leverage point is the establishment of an international development facility that would be negotiated between US and the IMF and the World Bank, and China with its Belt and Road system and its financial structure, in order to come via this facility to a kind of partnership in rivalry. And I think that is really important because so much of what's going to happen is that people in the North are basically very much thinking about IMF and hardly include the competing system by China. So, the concluding remarks is to have a TMP international organization accredited to the UN, and we have to be responding far more to proposals for system change, such as, for instance, Yanis Varoufakis' progressive monetary policy proposal. I think that's important that what people come up with, that we are there to put the other one there. So let me stop here and have questions if time is permitting, or otherwise that can go to the break period.
If this video is helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe for new video notifications. Please consider donating at monetary.org/donate. Don't forget to check us out on Twitter at AMI Monetary or on our website